All right, y'all. So today we are going to watch the recap of the debate. If you did not watch the debate, the debate. Look at me, can barely even talk. If you did not watch it, you missed a lot. I thought that the debate was good grief. The debate. I thought the debate was actually really solid, really good. Obviously, there's some points in there where Donald Trump, he pretty much took VP Harris's bait and where he slipped up a lot. But overall, a lot of people disagree with me, but overall, depending on how you view it, I do think VP Harris outperformed him. But when it comes to the winner of the debate, I don't think that there was like a clear, concise winner in regards to like, okay, this debate determined VP Harris is going to win this upcoming election, or same vice versa. I think the first 30 minutes, Donald Trump did amazing, especially with his rebuttals, and also his closing statement was really, really good. However, VP Harris, her confidence really outshined him, and also I think her political strategy with like just baiting him in on some of her talking points really helped her in her campaign. But we're gonna go ahead and watch the recap of it, and then we're going to continue.
Kamala Harris. Let's have a good debate.
Nice to see you. Have fun.
Thank you.
Welcome to you both. It's wonderful to have you. It's an honor to have you both here tonight.
Quick, that handshake is like the handshake spoken across the world. Like, I thought it was good that she came and shook his hand, but some people were like analyzing it or over analyzing it, saying she came there, she demanded authority, her confidence. Like, I just think that's just who she is. Like, I don't know why everyone was surprised that she came over to shake his hand. I think that's just who she is. Like, she's a confident woman in what she has to like offer. Yeah, but
we have inflation like very few people have ever seen before, probably the worst in our nation's history. This has been a disaster for people, for the middle class, but for every class.
Donald Trump left us the worst unemployment since the Great Depression. And what we have done is clean up Donald Trump's mess.
She's a Marxist. Everybody knows she's a Marxist.
Okay, so for the inflation topic, I think Donald Trump actually got her on that, mainly because it was almost as if this is where the moderators did not do their job correctly. Like, they were not adding context to the debate at all. Whenever Donald Trump brought up the situation with COVID and how it really impacted America's economy and so forth, and the inflation, I think they should have came in and also fact checked that, because it was almost like they were only fact checking whenever Donald Trump said something out of line, but wasn't really fact checking the context between their debate, if that makes sense, or the context between their conversation. And they also weren't really fact checking VP Harris that much either. I'm not gonna lie. But the whole inflation conversation, I think Donald Trump it would have been better if Donald Trump came from an angle of, because in his closing, he brought it up. He said, okay, you were in position for 3.5 years. Why didn't you do it then? I think that's where he should have came up and said, okay, you said you were cleaning up my mess for 3.5 years, but you're promising A, B, and C. What stopped you from promising it? Like, he should have came more from that angle, sort of say, but let's continue and see.
Others a Marxist professor in economics, and he taught her well. But her vice presidential pick says abortion in the 9th month is absolutely fine. He also says execution after birth. It's execution, no longer abortion, because the baby is born, is okay. And that's not okay with me.
One does not have to abandon their faith or deeply held beliefs to agree. The government, and Donald Trump certainly, should not be telling a woman what to do with her body. Pregnant women who want to carry a pregnancy to term, suffering from a miscarriage, being denied care in an emergency room because the healthcare providers are afraid they might go to jail, and she's bleeding out in a car in the parking lot. She didn't want that. Her husband didn't want that.
In Springfield.
So the topic with abortion, I do think that VP Harris won that one, even though I disagree. My stance on abortion has actually changed, and that stems from just me growing closer to Christ and getting closer in my faith. A lot of my politics from a year ago or even 6 months ago to now, it has changed a lot, and that just comes naturally as you grow and get older, and also just growing in Christ. So even though I disagree with her point, I feel like she put her point out better than Donald Trump did when it came for the stance of abortion. But what's also funny is that a lot of people, not even a lot of people, there was like that silent minority. They were getting upset at VP Harris for using the word pregnant woman and not pregnant person, which I'm just like, you can never win in this country at this point. But when it came to the abortion conversation, I do think VP Harris had a better delivery, and she also did better arguing her points than Donald Trump. Donald Trump, he did have a lot of hiccups because he was also speaking about how, because he did say, okay, after 9 months, once the woman already has her baby, that is now execution. But then again, he also said people are having abortions after the birth of a baby. So it's almost like he has to work on his delivery and how he speaks. So him being not a polished politician, it helps him, but it also hurts him because his delivery just comes off as like, okay, he doesn't know what he's talking about.
They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs.
This is like the infamous
Her husband
eating the
didn't want
dogs.
that?
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country.
Again, the Springfield city manager says there's no evidence of that. Vice
We'll
President
find
Harris,
out.
I'll let you respond to the rest of what you...
Okay, so the infamous, they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. I think people are still trying to even fact check that, still trying to figure that one out. I saw one video in particular. It was a body cam. I don't know if that person was an undocumented immigrant. I don't know. I can't confirm or deny that statement. I'm still in the loop trying to figure it out. I think a lot of us, independent political commentators, unbiased, we're trying to figure out ways we can fact check without getting biased news and biased sides. But that wasn't the first time I heard it. But when I first heard it, I just didn't believe it. I was just like, oh, there's no way. But I don't know. I honestly could not tell you about that. VP Harris, her face expressions, it really helped her in this debate, mainly because with the mics being off, I think the face expressions speak volumes. So it's almost like she was really like, dumbing him down a little bit. Like, that's unbelievable. So it was really like one of those, but yeah.
You talk about extreme.
Are you now acknowledging that you lost in 2020?
No, I don't acknowledge that at all.
But
I
you
said
did
that
say
sarcastically.
But
You know
those-
that. It was said, oh, we lost by a whisker. That was said sarcastically.
Mr. President, thank you. Vice President Harris, you heard the president there tonight. He said he didn't say that he lost by a whisker. So he still believes he did not lose the election that was won by President Biden and yourself.
Donald Trump was fired by 81 million people. So let's be clear about that. And clearly he is having a very difficult time processing that. World leaders are laughing at Donald Trump. I have talked with military leaders, some of whom worked with you, and they say you're a disgrace. Understand what it would mean if Donald Trump were back in the White House with no guardrails, because certainly we know now the court won't stop him. We know J.D. Vance is not going to stop him. It's up to the American people.
This is the one that weaponized, not me. She weaponized. I probably took a bullet to the head because of the things that they say about me. They talk about democracy. I'm a threat to democracy. They're the threat to democracy.
So I think you've heard.
So that part cut off. I think Donald Trump actually did good on that part when his response whenever he kind of compared them on how they can be deemed a threat to democracy. First things first, I think people just use these words so lightly. Like when they compare Trump to like Hitler and stuff like that, I'm just like, why are y'all doing that? But he did make a comparison. He was saying like people elected Joe Biden to represent them, and now at the drop of a dime, like he's out and now she's in. And I think he made a fair point there. But the problem is like he struggles with how he delivers his points. I think that's the main issue. VP Harris, I think that, like I said before, I think she was strong. She did a lot of avoiding when it comes to certain questions. I think the moderators did not hold her accountable enough. I do think that they were they were just a little bit tougher on Trump on some of the pushback than they were on VP Harris. There was one question in particular where I'm like, okay, y'all are not pushing her enough on this. This was the question regarding her stance and how her policies have changed within the last 4 years, compared specifically with like fracking and the border and immigration. And it was almost like they just let her slide through it. I'm like, yo, y'all are not helping the American people right now. But that's media.
Two very different visions for our country. One that is focused on the future, and the other that is focused on the past, and an attempt to take us backward. But we're not going back.
They've had 3.5 years to create jobs and all the things we talked about. Why hasn't she done it? The worst president, the worst vice president in the history of our country.
So yeah, his closing was really good. I think he honestly should have used his closing as part of his opening in a sense, or I don't know, but his closing was really good. So was VP Harris's. But yeah, I just think this debate it was a good debate. I do think it was good overall, but something that's very crazy that I read, and this is another reason why I'm like not changing my stance on how I believe like this debate kind of can go either way depending on how you view it. So CNN did a poll prior to the debate asking debate watchers, who do you think will be a better choice in regards to being in charge of this economy, like handling the current economy? 37% said VP Harris, while 63% Donald Trump. After the debate, VP Harris actually lost 2 percentage points within the same CNN poll. So it went down from 37 to 35, and Trump gained 2 percentage points. It went from 63 to 65. And so when we see that poll number, and then we also see CNN poll, they said, who do you think won the debate? 67% said VP Harris, while the rest said Donald Trump. So when we see these things, these comparisons, it's like really depending on how you view it, like it really depends on if you think they won or not. Like I said myself, I think if you're a Trump supporter, you're going to think Trump didn't lose much out of this debate. If you think you're a VP Harris supporter, you're going to think, okay, she didn't lose much either. I generally still think this upcoming election is going to be very close. I don't think this debate made a clear, concise decision like, okay, yeah, this person is going to win. Like as when you compare it to Biden and Trump's first debate, after that debate, we're like, okay, if the Biden stays in, it's going to be clear as day Trump is going to win. He's going to win this upcoming November. And so, yeah, that's my thoughts on it. I actually want to know, what do y'all think? How do y'all think about the debate? A lot of people from the right are saying that it was a 3v1. The moderators were not on Trump's side. A lot of people on the left are saying that people on the right are making excuses. I do think that the moderators did show a little bit biasness. I'm not going to hold you. I do think that they were a little bit tougher on Trump than they were on VP Harris in regards to pushback, but they did have Trump speak more. And they fact-checked him too. They fact-checked both of them after the debate and said that Trump actually told more lies than Harris as well. So it's either here or there. So let me know your thoughts on the comments down below. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you're notified whenever I post a new video. Follow me on my social media. I love y'all all. God bless y'all. This is Uduak, Connected People with Policy. Toodles.